Okay, Prakash, we have a lot of stuff to talk about here, and it's been a long time in coming, but it's very exciting. Do you want to sort of lead into what engineering's been working on here and what you have?
Absolutely, Steve. And so happy to see you again for this month release. And as we promised in our last time, so we have a huge functionality that is coming out, which is AI on demand. So we have a lot of things that we can do with AI. So I can show you like what we implemented for this release, and I can quickly go over with the functionality. So when you see the screen, you can see some difference in here. Each call has some extra functionality that is available right now. So you can see there is a face that is displayed which says sentiment as neutral, and you do have another AI icon which says that you can do some operation on it. So what is it? So AI on demand, it allows you to selectively pick calls and say I want a transcription only for this call. In traditional way, normally you used to get every single call in your organization is getting transcribed and analyzed. But AI on demand is only doing the calls that you're interested in doing the analytics, which saves you cost in using the AI tokens. Only do the analytics when you really need it. And you can automate it later, but for now you can just go on the request. What you need for a call, say example, the first call that you got here, which already has the analytics in here, the next one, you can go and say, hey, I want to have a summary for this call, and I want to have sentiment analysis done. And the third option that you have is, I want the summary, but I want to redact the content. I don't want my social security number or credit card number that is part of the call is being displayed in the transcription. You can go and select the configuration and say, I want to mask it, and you can pick list of configuration that you want to mask it. Either it could be a credit card number or social security number, or you have an industry standard whatever you need to be masked. The sensitive content is available in this list. It's a broad list. It's not just one or two. So you can go over and select whatever is applicable, and you can say generate. Let me do that real quick. So when you do that, the job is submitted. So right now the engine is going to take your call, and it's going to take a couple of seconds for you to get the results back. But meanwhile, I can go to the existing call and show you how it is going to look like. So once the analysis is done, you are going to see what is the sentiment analysis for this call. For example, this call, the sentiment is neutral. And when you click the sentiment icon, it's going to expand, and you are going to see why this sentiment is neutral. It's going to justify it. It summarized it, and it identified that there is no successful thing in here, or at the same time there is no negative thing that happened in this call. It's very neutral, very normal conversation, so that's why it marked it as neutral. And you have a summary right there. You can read it, and how big the summary you want is also configurable. You can just configure it in the backend one time, and that's going to be applied for every single call that you are going to apply the analytics to. So this is sentiment and summary. If you drill further down, going into the call details, you have your transcription that you can see every single. This is a very small call, so you're not seeing much data in this. I can show you some other calls, but here you can switch to the summary tab. This will display the same summary, and also you have the icon that shows the sentiment analysis. So mouse overing to the sentiment, you can see the justification why it is neutral, and it's explaining the same thing that you are seeing in the front screen. So you have multiple ways to see it, and pretty much like it's in a single place you get to see all. You don't need to go and play the call to see everything. You have a summary, you have the sentiment analysis, and if you're just interested in transcription, go back to the transcription and just read the content. And now if you want to go and listen to the call, it's a normal functionality. You just play the calls and listen to it just to make sure that the summarized content is perfect. So that's the AI demand for you. It's more granular. You get to choose what you want, not just that what product is offering. for certain calls you only want the transcription, and for certain calls you want the summary. Rather than you are spending money on every single call, now you can just pick the call that you are interested in and do the summary. Very cost-effective way. And second thing, you can also go on to do the search for all the calls that has the transcription and analysis on top of it. So it only brings the call that went through with the analytics engine, and it filters it out. So now all these calls, you see that the sentiment for this particular call is positive. This is the other functionality that we introduced in this build, which is you can save your search. If you have a repetitive filter conditions, every single day you are coming and repeating, okay, I have an agent that I want to monitor, and whether he called a particular number, this is something that you are repeating. This is the option for you. Go on to save your filter into the save search functionality. So click the plus button. It allows you to save your filter conditions, so you can save it. So every time that you're logging into the system, all you have to do is go on to click the saved search. It's going to bring all your search conditions back. So you don't need to go on to reconfigure everything every single time. It's a very small functionality, but it is very effective. It's it's not going to consume more time for you to repeat the same task.
So this has an interesting implication, given the fact that we just talked about AI on demand, and the fact that for example, AI on demand can be configured at the group level. So if you're a supervisor, for example, if you got 4 supervisors and each one has 20 agents that he's responsible for, the supervisors could be configured to have AI on demand as a feature, and they would be able to look at transcripts, look at summaries, look at sentiment for their groups, first of all, and then we look at the search, the saved search function. This would allow, this is a question, not a statement. Tell me if I'm right. This allows that supervisor to say, I'm going to save a search criteria that says, I want to hear every time one of my agents hears the following word, or a word comes up in the transcript, or a sentiment is expressed, positive or negative, whatever it happens to be. And that just automates the whole process. Is that accurate?
Absolutely, Steve. Absolutely. That's the main use case where, as a supervisor, most of the time you don't want to look at the call that as a happy sentiment analysis. You really want to focus on the calls where the sentiment is negative. That's where you want to go and look at the list and see, okay, what happened to this call? What happened to my agent? Why the call sentiment is negative? Why the customer is upset? So you can have your filter set in such a way with all your agents in your group. You can say all the calls that has a sentiment analysis negative. You store it, and every single day that you are logging in or end of the day that you are logging out, just hit the search. It's going to bring all the calls that has a sentiment analysis as negative. So now you go on to look at the summary quickly rather than playing back 1 hour long call. You can look at the summary and see what went wrong. And you can also listen to the call, and that's going to give you where exactly you want to spend your time on and what exactly you need to read, rather than randomly going and picking the call that you are playing back and trying to find if everything is okay. This is like just telling you, these are all the calls that you need to spend time on. Every other calls are fine. And also this allows you to create a report where you can see how many, in a percentage wise, what percentage number of calls are positive and what percentage is negative. So you get to know how many calls didn't go very well, and you can focus on it and try to improve that by coaching the agents and everything. There are a lot of other things that you can do, but this is the first step. This allows you to uncover everything that you want to know, and from the insights of every single call that we recorded, these are the calls that you need to spend more time on. So that's exactly this feature is for. AI on demand and search goes hand to hand, works together.
One question about AI on demand. I recall a conversation we had where you mentioned that instead of being locked into one LLM, we're able to look across many. Can you speak to that real quick?
Absolutely. So this is the functionality that we have it in the backend. When you are asking for an analytics, you do have an option of choosing what engine that you want to choose from. So we have many different implementation of the transcription engine. So you can pick from a catalog, at least like 4 or 5, because each engine is very much specialized in certain things. One is going to be very high quality in a particular language, and one is in English, one is in Italian. So based on your request, one of the model is going to be the best one for you. And if you're looking for a cost effective, there is another model that you can pick from. If you're looking at like, hey, I'm going to do every single call in my organization needs to be transcribed. I don't want 100% high quality things. As long as it is 95% to 98, I'm okay. So then there is a model, and which is like going to be cost effective, and but at the same time it is okay too. It's not really bad, but it's not going to be 100% efficient like the higher model that we are having. So you get to choose.
But the key here, the key here is you're not locked into one.
We are not locked into
engine.
one. You are the one as a customer. You are the one going to pick what you want. We are not going to tell you.
You can configure that on the fly.
You can configure it on the fly. Exactly. If you say like, you can try it out as a first time when you're coming in. Try to use one model, and if you don't like it, immediately say, hey, I'm not getting the result that I'm looking for. This is probably like not the model that I'm looking for. Immediately within few minutes we can switch second model for you. So you can just try it out before you are committing for one model. So that's the best thing about this. So transcription engine is configurable, and also the LLM model that we are using for summarizing and doing the sentiment analysis is also configurable. It's based on the region that you are in. You may have a certain preference. Hey, I don't want to use so-and-so LLM. I want to use only this LLM because like for legal reasons I have to only use this. Yes, absolutely. You can pick the one that you are interested in. So we are not tying anything. We are not giving you this is the model that you have to use. You have a list of LLM to choose from, and you have list of transcription engine to choose from. So 100% flexibility here. The other option, in addition to what you are picking, you can also pick how your summary to look like. Meaning, do you want to have a more granular summary, like very detailed summary, or you want to have only like a few lines summary, very cryptic summary? I don't want to have 100 lines of summary. I only want like 5 to 10 lines of summary. So you can define it. How big you want. You want the medium level summary or detailed summary or very basic. So you can get to choose that, and that's also configuration. So you can play with that, and you get what you wanted.
So we have a lot of interesting stuff coming on the heels of this announcement, which I will not divulge, I promise. We've talked about it briefly. That's for another video for another day. But everything we just talked about is available now.
Absolutely, it is available now.
Okay, there it is. We'll try to get back to our regularly scheduled once a month videos here, but you know what? It's done when it's done, and there's a very high commitment to quality here, so let's make sure it's working exactly the way we say before we put this out in the public, which I think we have done. So thank you. I think we covered everything we wanted to cover, and we'll reconvene this conversation in about a month, right?
In a month, absolutely. More
All right,
cool
good deal.
features.
Prakash, thank you.
Thanks, Steve. Nice to talk to you.